ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, we missed a week.
I think we did miss a week.
Daniel called in sick.
He did.
I didn't even call in sick. I emailed in
Daniel
sick.
emailed in. See, he didn't have to do the fake cough when he emailed in sick.
You can do that. You can email in.
I did it. I wouldn't say I did it well.
He didn't come to. We didn't do a podcast last week.
That's true.
But here we are.
I felt rough last Monday. As bad as I still sound bad. Not that I sounded good before, but it was a rough day on Monday. And I guess it's the season.
We're glad you're better, and what a great day. Pouring down rain.
It is
Cool. I got my Praise Cathedral sweatshirt, hoodie on. I've been waiting since August to wear this.
I didn't think you liked a hoodie.
I do on a rainy day.
Oh.
You know, this doesn't just happen.
I love a rainy night.
True.
Sorry.
Do we need to introduce? Y'all know who we are.
Yeah, I mean,
And we're not going to fool with listeners.
We're famous. ChatGPT even knows who we are.
Oh, gee.
Well, wait a minute.
it knows who you are.
ChatGPT knows who Pastor Jerry Madden is.
Right.
It just says-
So Daniel asked ChatGPT about the Shepherd's podcast and just summarize it or whatever. And it spit out, I won't read the whole thing, the following. Host, Jerry Madden, senior pastor, Praise Cathedral. Jerry and his co-host. I like it.
Just put co-host under the names. Do away with Bo and Daniel, co-host.
Key features and topics, listener Q&A, leadership and church culture, real-life ministry reflections, and denominational church context. For example, all things Church of God.
That's the one everybody loves.
Even
people in
ChatGPT.
Cleveland who want to remain anonymous.
they know.
They know.
ChatGPT probably knows who's listening in Cleveland.
You think ChatGPT's the Antichrist?
Things to note. This podcast may include content that's church denomination specific, which may or may not align with the broader audience for you.
I don't know. Our denomination's pretty broad, but I digress, obviously. Wow. Well, we made ChatGPT. Isn't that wonderful?
But it didn't say anything about our pick'ems. How good we are at our pick'ems.
I think I made up a little bit of ground. I don't know. Where are we at here?
Let's see.
Yes.
Pastor is now in second place.
Yes, that's good because he killed me on fantasy football this week.
Well,
Did I?
that's all
I don't
know.
Oh, did I? Look how humble he's trying to. Did I? I haven't even looked.
I really haven't today. I did look yesterday.
There you go. Well, there weren't any games between last night and this
There
Monday
was.
afternoon.
I didn't watch it, but there was.
Anyway, I made a terrible mistake I was working out in Family Life Center, and ESPN was on, and the guy up there says, here's going to be the surprise. I'm trying to think. Aaron Rodgers is going to have 3 touchdowns, and he's going to blow it out this week. And I thought, I'll play Aaron Rodgers. I should have played Joe Flacco. He got 58 points. But all right, let's go this week. Where are we at?
Yeah.
This week. So North Carolina is at Syracuse.
Syracuse.
Yeah, I'll take Syracuse as well. Even though North Carolina played well last Saturday and
I took North Carolina
almost
for that.
pulled it out,
Yeah.
but I'll take Syracuse.
You know how much you can get into that? That's a Friday night 7:30 game. You know how much ticket costs right now?
$5?
$6.
$6.
6, 7.
I don't know that I'd pay $6 to go. 6, 7. Your daughters
I know.
want me to say
I know.
6, 7.
I know.
You got to do this. 6-7.
South Carolina, Ole Miss.
South Carolina, Ole Miss. I went with Ole Miss, running the lane train. But South Carolina looked good against Alabama. Congratulations.
Well, for 58 minutes they did. I'll take Ole Miss.
Is Ole Miss ranked?
Yeah, like 8th.
They're up there in the rankings. Top 10.
Yep, sure.
Clemson and Duke.
Where's that game at?
I think it's at Duke.
It's not showing.
It's at Duke's High School Football Stadium.
I read a thing this morning, just a little blurb, that something's going on with the Clemson's quarterback's mom, some kind of health thing. But I'll take Clemson.
It's at Clemson.
Okay, yeah, Clemson.
Same. I can't pick.
You just can't do it. You
pick
can't
the
pull
other
that
guys.
trigger.
Tennessee and
At
Oklahoma.
some point, I'm going to have to start picking different just to.
Yeah, I'll take Oklahoma.
All right, Tennessee.
And Monday Night Football. I guess is that tonight? Commanders and Chiefs.
That is tonight.
I'll take Chiefs.
Yeah, I don't think that. I don't think
The quarterback's not playing.
Daniels is
No,
playing.
he's not.
So
Because he's on my fantasy team, and that's why I had to play somebody else. So, yeah.
it was Mageddon this week.
All right. If we do another one, we'll pick next week.
All right.
So I
sounds,
got to get a quarterback for next week.
sounds good.
All right.
All right. So, 3 things we can talk about.
Wait, hold on. We get to choose.
You guys get to choose which way you want us to go today.
Remember those books
Co-host.
that was like,
Go.
like you could, if you wanted this to happen, like you
Yeah.
could flip to chapter or whatever, and
Yeah.
if you wanted that to happen,
Yeah.
like that.
All right. So both of you were in service yesterday. So we can talk about the struggles of ministry in the life of Elijah, because he's a great stud. He's a great case study
Okay.
Yeah.
for that. We can talk about what really made me mad last week in regard to what I'm calling the age of hyper-spiritualization.
Okay.
Or we can talk about a concern I have in regard to the age of image versus reality.
Like AI.
No, I'm talking about real.
Okay.
A culture consumed by image at the expense of reality. Where do you want to go?
I like door number 3 because I'm betting that it has to do something with the comment that you made. Not everything noisy is God. Is that true?
No, it's not related to that comment, but I do think that's a great preaching point. Just because it's noisy, that doesn't mean it's God.
Yeah. And I was
And
like,
that goes back to Elijah.
that's exactly right.
The mountains, the rocks, the earthquake. Just because it makes noise, that don't mean it's God.
Yeah.
I'll go with door number 3 because I think it will probably require the least amount of talking from me. So we'll go.
No, because we're gonna hammer it.
Go for it.
So I'm glad you were out sick last week. I'm not glad you were sick, but I'm glad we didn't record.
I understand.
I'm glad we didn't record because last Monday I was mad. Okay, as a matter of fact, so mad that Tommy Harvey called me Monday night and said, "Are you okay?"
I'm trying to remember what last Monday was.
Well,
did I say anything?
No.
I don't usually.
It has to do with door number 2 and door number 3.
Okay.
Door number 2, the hyper-spiritualization, particularly of the Pentecostal world.
Okay.
Yeah.
And we'll talk about that next week
Fair enough.
because that's the one that I had a family who wanted to know who had been prophesied over at camp meeting,
Oh, okay.
Oh.
and they had questions. The other thing, I'm doing less of these, but I did a wedding on the weekend. And this is, I'm not pinpointing that wedding. It's the pattern of weddings that I've been doing for the past 2 or 3 years. Okay? They are all, first of all, they're moving away from church.
Yes.
They don't have them at churches anymore.
Rarely do we have
Right.
a wedding at the church. I'm going to talk about that, this part of my comments.
Can I say my pattern and see if it's the same thing as yours?
Please.
Before you, I hadn't done one in a minute, but the last few that I've done, how quickly can we get through the ceremony? No songs, no communion. And like I jokingly have it, I think we have, like you sent it to me, it's the same ceremony, and I call it the 12-minute special because that's how long it takes me to get through it. And like the last 5 weddings I've done, they've gone, yeah, that's what I want.
Yeah, the pattern I'm seeing is I want on my wedding day, I want a 15-minute ceremony.
Yep.
It's not going to be at church. It's going to be at a venue, which, I don't have a problem with venues.
No.
I know that you can have some beautiful landscape around, and you're out in nature, and that's great. I don't have a problem with that.
And if there are things that are important to you, such as dancing,
yeah.
you can do it there. You can't do it at church.
Yeah, I mean, there's a way to get around that. You can always do the ceremony at church and then go somewhere for the reception where you're allowed to do the dance. And actually, I think the church should probably say, okay, you can do I think the church should say, a father-daughter dance, a first dance, those ceremonial dances. I think the church ought to say, yeah, we accept that. Now, the problem with accepting open dancing is then you become the dance police.
Wobble baby, wobble baby.
And you can't, and that's going to be just impossible to police. But I think the traditional first dance, mother, son, father, daughter, I don't have an issue with that.
Sure.
The Bible says dance with those who dance, rejoice with those who rejoice. But you're on the right track. The 15-minute ceremony at a venue, and there is more time and perhaps money devoted to
the party.
I hadn't even gotten to the party, the photographs,
Mm-hmm.
than anything else.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we're going to do a 15-minute ceremony, and they're going to take an hour and a half.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
To get the perfect picture. Not to mention that while I'm doing that 15-minute ceremony, there are photographers walking around behind me and beside me and actually at times tell me to move. I'm not kidding you.
It's the truth.
I'm not kidding you. You know, okay, we're gonna have this moment. It's okay. Like when we're praying, can you step off to the side so I can just take the picture of them holding their hands praying? And it goes to the bigger picture of, I'm gonna come back to weddings. We are a generation, and we have a culture that is more concerned with the image we project than the reality of who we are. And that goes to church too. Mm-hmm. And I'll come back to that. You know, I was sitting back thinking, we should be bothered, I think, that couples don't want to get married in church anymore. I've got a couple. I have a few that have approached me for next year, and so far they're all in the church, and I'm excited about that. And
I was going to say,
and I
have coming back.
I hope so. I have Russ, and you know what? I get that. Ooh, I want to get married in church, but those colors are awful. Okay, I agree. The green wasn't necessarily the most endearing, you know, but now we're very neutral. You could, but it kind of goes beyond that.
Can I throw another one out there, though?
Please.
That I've heard?
Yeah.
I only have 200 people coming to my wedding, and 200 people in that room.
Yeah, I get it. I get it.
Swallows.
Well, yeah, I get it. But there's something about, I think, and this is probably an old person talking, there's something about having your wedding at church that says our marriage is going to be built on God.
Right.
More so than having it somewhere else.
Right.
If you have your wedding at church, you are announcing God is the center of our life.
Yeah, God first. Yeah.
And this is, and we are marrying, but we are married because what I see is when you go to these other places, they don't want sacredness in the ceremony. You know, it's the 12-minute. It's almost like the ceremony's a necessary evil. Okay, we'll do this, but let's hurry up and let's get it done, because what we really want to do is get our pictures made. And the sacredness of I heard Alistair Begg talking, and he was talking about growing up in Scotland. The churches had the sign out front. It was very common at the bottom of the sign. It said marriage vows solemnized here. And that kind of just spoke to marriage was a solemn union before God. And I think we've lost that and I'm probably going to do a lot more conversing with the couples I marry and make sure, hey, you need to understand what's happening here. You are standing before God, and you are solemnly vowing that you are going to spend your life with this person come hell or high water. I don't know if you want to bleep that or not. I wouldn't.
Don't
It's in a
bleep
song now.
Don't bleep stuff anymore.
People thought you really cussed, didn't they?
Yeah.
We got him.
I had a guy call me last week who said, man, I said, if I didn't know Bo, I would think.
But it I fear the solemn entity of marriage is declining. Mm-hmm. I mean, I think we see it in divorce, but I just don't think the wedding is a solemn occasion anymore where we realize I am standing before God. And I think part of what adds to that is we don't do it in church anymore. We're worried about the image.
Yeah.
More so than reality. I saw a dad yesterday, and as the latest wedding I did, and I asked him how the couple was and how everybody was doing, and you know, everybody's doing good, back from the honeymoon, and I said, well, now the fun part begins, because by and large the wedding's easy. It's a series of processes you go through. Now here comes the marriage, and it's not as easy. And I fear we don't go into that with that realization. And I really am concerned that the sacredness of the union of marriage is being sacrificed on the altar of image. We're more worried about the image, more worried about the image than we are the reality.
Yeah.
I wonder, so a lot of more contemporary churches, they have a blacked out ceiling, lights, walls, everything on the stage is blacked out. I wouldn't think that would be very conducive for a wedding. So I wonder if it became commonplace for a lot of people not to want to get married at the church because the building.
It could be,
and then for our church, it's a little bit different. You know, it has a little more traditional feel to it. But the couples in there kind of see, well, everybody else is going to this venue or that venue. So
again, I'm not necessarily decreeing that venues are of the devil.
No,
I'm just afraid it's part of a bigger picture of the sacredness of marriage is being lost, and the sacredness of the marriage ceremony is being lost.
Yeah,
and the image is more important than what we say is transpiring. We say we are making a man and woman one, bringing them together as one in Christ, and there ought to be some real solemnness about that. Every church is not suitable for weddings. Now, that's all you contemporary churches' fault. If y'all would really look like a church, you wouldn't have that problem. But no, every church is not suitable for weddings, and I get that. And so a venue may be the better option, but you can still make sure that it is sacred and that there is a holy sacredness about it. I mean, think about it. The first, really, after creation, the first institution that God ordained was the marriage.
it was marriage, yeah.
Before he ordained the church, he ordained the marriage. He was the father who walked Eve down the aisle and presented her to Adam. And so that's really how much he wants to be a part of it. And so having done a few this year and just seeing that pattern continue, I do grow concerned. And which brings me to, I don't think it's just marriages. I think it's church as a whole. I'll go in it. You need to wake up. I'm going to go into all things Church of God segment now. I'm deeply concerned that our denomination is more worried about our image than we are our reality. And as long as we can get a good photo op of whatever it is we're doing, we're great.
So, no, it's interesting that you say this. every other Monday we do a Zoom Bible study with our college
With your
students.
college kids, yeah, it's great.
And last week, I'm kind of going through just basic apologetics, and you start with a topic and it always ends up somewhere else or whatever. And last week we were talking about, if I have doubts, is it about God? Is it sin for me to have doubts?
Right.
And at the end, I had a young man say, he said, can you speak a little bit about just the lack of reverence in the modern church? And he said, because I have friends who are Catholic, and I have friends who are Orthodox, and I don't share their beliefs and I don't share their theology, but their reverence for God really appeals to me. And their reverence and fear of God and just the respect for the holiness of God really is something that I've thought, man, I wish.
I long for.
I want that.
Yeah. You go in those Orthodox churches and you don't take pictures during church.
Right.
There is a holy awe, even though they may live like the devil outside.
Yeah.
When they're inside those walls, there is, and that's really part and parcel of where I'm going.
Now, I do understand. I think, especially in today's culture, I think that social media has to be a part of what you do. I think when a person moves into town, the first thing they're doing is they're not going to websites anymore. They're going to your socials. They're going to
what is it, YouTube, to watch your service.
Yeah, I don't necessarily, in my opinion, I don't see anything wrong with this is a Sunday recap, and this is, you know what I'm saying? Like these.
I don't think there's anything wrong with broadcasting your service live,
right,
online, YouTube, Facebook. What I don't necessarily. That's not where I'm going.
Yeah.
Let me come back to the churches in a minute, and let me just talk about the bigger picture. And you know what? This may just be me. This may just it may just be a personal preference. It may be me showing my age. I don't know. We were in Cleveland for the dedication of the new prayer center. And, you had the ceremonial part and the cutting of the ribbon, and that was great. And then we're going to go inside and we're going to spend some time in prayer. Okay, it's a prayer center. But then it became more about the guys walking around the room while people were praying, getting the people praying. And if to all of my church family, friends, whatever, if you watch that video and you're looking for me, I was there, but I was over in the corner. I'm not going to, no. Prayer is a private conversation between me and the Lord, and I'm not posing.
Yeah.
For me, that's when what you're doing becomes posing. It's when it becomes the image versus the reality. Jesus said, when you pray, go up in your room, close the door. And it goes back to that. When you do things to be seen of men, whatever it is, you have your full reward.
Yeah.
And my great concern, and I see it very high in the denominational level, is everything we do, we almost do it for the image. We got a whole division dedicated to image. And so we make sure we put stuff out there. What if we had a whole division dedicated to spiritual things? But you're just sitting there smiling. Mm-hmm. But
you're not wrong, because we feel the pressure. You talk about the outside influences. We talked about that in the sermon yesterday. You talk about the outside influences in the people that you let in your circle.
Yeah.
Well, it's also the same thing with your worldview. If I'm trying to compare myself against the world,
yep,
and I'm looking at what the world's doing, well, then I feel the pressure.
This is what they do.
This is what they do, so this is what I have to do. So if I do this, then I'll feel better because I'll show everybody else I'm doing a good thing.
But where's the line where we're more concerned about the image
Right.
than we are the reality? And that's the growing concern I have. And I'll go one step further, and I'm not gonna talk about anybody else's church. I was talking about our church. We put our services online, and we do that for our shut-ins. We do it for people who on a particular Sunday are sick, can't make it, et cetera, work, whatever. It's a convenience. It's not the same thing as being at church. But we do have people who that's the way they scout out the church they want to visit. And I would probably do that if I was looking for a church. Sure. I'd probably watch their online service, see if I felt like that's a place where I'd be comfortable. But every Monday I get the feeds of the churches who take photographs of every service. And I'm just not going to do that. I mean, we may do it at Christmas. We may do some before service snaps waving. We may do some after service. I don't want anybody walking around necessarily every Sunday taking photographs because then I worry, are we consumed by the image versus the reality?
Yeah.
Are we saying to the world, look what we do? I don't know. That's my concern that the image becomes more important than the reality of what we're doing.
Yeah.
So that kind of bleeds over. I think what you said is true. The image of the world is more important than their reality. Everything's about image in the world. Everything's about how many likes, how many followers, how many retweets, how many, and it's not tweets, but whatever it is they do, how many reposts. I mean, I want to be an influencer, and so it's all about the image. And what you find out in time and over time, you always see these people who rise in the world of the image, and then their reality surface, and these were horrible people.
Yeah.
They had no reality to them. They had no depth to them. It was all for the image. And I think the church as a whole has got to really be careful. Now, I'll just get all the way out on this limb while you let me just walk out there. Pentecost does not transmit well over video and airwaves.
Yeah.
No, it does not.
It does not transmit well. Now, I'll send your cards and letters to D. Scarborough at praisecathedral.org. It's not a good look. I got one last week, and you got 12 white men on the stage with tambourines, and at a certain point in the service, they came down from the stage and started jumping up and down with tambourines, and I'm just sitting there saying, if I stumbled on this, I would. What did Paul say? They'll think you're mad. These people are crazy. It's not a good look. Now, if you're there in the moment, it may be very different.
Sure.
But
it just opens you up to so much criticism, and it's not even about constructive or healthy criticism. It's just about people that just hate, that want to bring everybody else down, and they want to say, "Well, see,
that comes
this is
in.
not real. That's not genuine."
That comes in. Yeah. I did preach about Elijah yesterday, and when I was reading about him taunting the prophets of Baal, and as they were all looking down, he's the original trash talker, right?
Oh, yeah.
Before Michael Jordan, there was Elijah.
It was Larry Bird. He was pretty bad, too.
He was pretty bad, too.
But still, to call somebody else's God out.
The bathroom is my favorite.
That's what he said. Maybe he's relieving himself. Yep. But here's my point. In response, the more he talked, the more animated they become.
Yeah.
Hello? And the Bible says these guys are. I think if we had a video of the prophets of Baal and we put it beside some of our modern Pentecostal services, it'd be hard to tell the difference of which was which. Don't put any audio, just put the video side by side. It's not a good look.
There's a guy that makes he has made his life's work of going out and finding clips of people that are in Pentecostal worship.
The Holy Nope.
Yes.
Love that guy.
I've never seen him.
Oh, man.
So this guy, that's what he does. Now
Nope.
he does talk about a lot of heretical stuff, and he kind of points out.
Well, and Pentecost opens the door for. I tell people we're a cereal faith. We got nuts and flakes everywhere.
Yeah. But this Holy Nope guy,
It's like
man,
a box of cereal.
He just goes out and you'll see people engaged in Pentecostal worship, and he just
Nope.
he's like, nope.
The every video starts the same way of him walking up, got my Bible, ready to hear the word, ready to be at church, and then he sits down and shows the clip, and it's like him interacting with the clip, and eventually he goes, nope, and gets up and leaves.
I get it.
It's funny.
Well,
It's funny.
that's today's rant. I'm very concerned. I'm very concerned in the church that image has become more important than reality, and I'm very concerned that starts at a very high level and is now creeping down even to the levels of marriage and ceremonies and really other things. I like what your college student said. I don't agree with certain churches' orthodoxy, but their holiness and reverence of God fills a big void in me. I get it. And it's a very personal thing, but most of the time, I go back to Jesus said 2 men went to the temple, and one of them loudly prayed, I thank thee that I am not like all the things that he wasn't, and I'm not like this man. Meanwhile, the other man bowed his head, beat his chest, and said, oh, God, have mercy on me. And that man went home justified. Yeah, I like the image of being in the presence of the Lord. It's such that I just want to bow my head and clutch my heart. So anyway, let's be careful. Let's be careful and make sure our reality surpasses our image.
Or matches.
At least.
Yeah.
At least. All right, that's 32 minutes. It's going to get better next week.
We're going to get flack because we didn't do Listener of the Week.
All right.
I'm sorry. It's been on.
Who's going to flag us that hasn't already been a Listener of the Week? See,
That's true.
They're worried about their image.
Oh, that's good. You brought it right back.
But if you've got one, throw them out there.
No, I don't have one. But that was a very good tie-in.
Yeah.
I'm worried about my image. I want to get a shout out.
There you go. Oh. Shout out to everybody who listens, who sends us emails, who comments on Facebook, who shares. You are the Listener of the Week. Whoever issues the most shares, you will be the Listener of the Week.
And you will be awarded by yourself.
Like yes. You can pat yourself.
You can pat yourself.
You can add that to one of the, what do they call them, the medallions on your Facebook profile.
Put it on your resume.
There you go.
All right, so what do we do next week? Are we opening door number 2? Is that what you said?
I'll let you guys decide.
I don't remember what the other
door number 1 was Elijah and just the struggle of ministry, as in the case study of Elijah. Door number 2, I think, was my great concern with hyper-spiritualization, and I'll probably tie that to camp meeting itself.
Oh, I don't want that one.
I told a few weeks ago I was going to do my camp meeting conundrum, so I could probably tie those two together.
Oh, man, because people have been texting me being like, when's he going to do that one? What's that one?
Let's do it next week then.
Okay. Well, Chat GPT. Next week is one
for the books
for you. So tune in. Thanks for being here. See you next time.
Bye.